What's up, everybody? What's up, St. Louis? Top Corner Talk here with Oscar, Musa, and the other two slackers that are Jeremy. We'll say just Jeremy from now on. But today's a different discussion. We're talking City SC, huge win and back to back on the road win. Oscar, we're not used to talk about it this way, but bring it back to that. How are you feeling? We know there've been a lot of STL Santos activities, but how is Oscar feeling after another great display?
So, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't say I'm happy because I'm not happy about the season. Like it's great to see a little bit of reaction from the team. Um, but still, like I still have my feet on the ground. I know where we stand. I know where we are and what was the entire season about. It's good to see that there's some willingness to fight, to play, to have a reaction. So it was good. And I mean, obviously, the highlight of probably the season is how we call it, Mr. McSorley, that had an amazing half and then complemented a little bit with a goal saving opportunity in the second half. So I think he had overall everything that he did was important for the result that we had against San Jose, and just having a player that had his first start with the team. He has been playing before. He didn't have that many chances, how many minutes or like options to score, and this one's the one that he got on the box. He definitely did what he needed to do. So that is definitely something that everybody was asking for. Everybody wanted the City two players to get on the main stage and be definitely a important for the team. So that was good.
Yes, definitely. And I will probably return to that one earlier. So it definitely just going roster rise and the lineup definitely have shown that we were missing a few of the key players. We'll call them. Um, but then there was a few of the surprises that were put in on the starting 11. So, um, any surprises on that part for you first?
I mean, like obviously the regular surprises were we were missing the two center backs that
All at
we were
once?
obviously expecting to have. One due to sickness,
Yeah.
and then the other one apparently pick up a knock on practice that oh sounds familiar. Sounds like a lot of the 2024-2025 season for St. Louis. The reason that we are not getting that upset is because we're not playing for anything anymore. So I was like, okay, well, someone else have a minute. You know, if we were in the middle of the playoff run, then everybody would be like, oh, why is it? Why is another pickup injury in practice and such and such and such? That ones I think were the two.
Right.
Um, and it still surprised me. I was still going, even though if it's working, but at the same time we're trying to get minutes to other people. I don't understand why it's still going with Wallem and Durkin a full sets, like going back to back games without having any rotation and try to see what the other players can bring to the table. I'm concerned about the situation with Totland. I'm concerned about the situation with Orozco. Um, I'm not saying concern, but at the same time, it's like, can Morales provide something else again? Because he was actually doing some good job
Right.
when he was stepping up. And the last one will be Ostrak. It seems like it's the third game in a row that when Ostrak is not starting and it's not having a spotlight on the field. So those are the ones that made me think a little bit. And I mean, obviously, the surprise of having McSorley as a starting lineup, and he definitely took took advantage of that.
Yeah, and so yes, I think the knock. I probably understand that part. And I think almost this, the sickness is almost a deja vu from Bloom as well. So it looks like history repeats itself. So hopefully it won't repeat itself again because we have a different kind of player team that's coming to St. Louis on Saturday. But I guess we're just talking about the lineup and McSorley. So first half, what was your take on how the two center backs were working, and especially the midfield? Because I think that was one of the biggest surprise for me. How the ball was being able to progress from our back to our midfielder because it looks a lot more fluid than
Hmm.
what we're used to.
Yeah, I think overall you can see a little bit that the players are starting to get the idea of Critch,
Right.
and it's kind of like helping to perform better, attack better. The way that you're saying, like, be more fluid in the attack, move the ball a little bit quicker, have people moving off the ball. That it was one of our biggest issues, and I think some of the players are starting to understand that they need to move off the ball. Um, so that's good. There's surprisingly from what we were doing in the back four. I mean, Heaver hasn't played in what, 2 months,
Yeah.
maybe 3 months more. He had a fine game with the ball, without the ball. Not seemed like he didn't miss a beat, one or two wrong steps or passes or whatever, but that's everybody. And just trying to move the ball quick. I think that's one of the good things they're happening.
Yeah, he definitely did not miss a bit. I think it was one of those things where, well, he did also shut out like maybe two or three of like the most, I guess, talented and legend like of the MLS with Chicho and all that. So I was definitely impressed on how they were able to manage that much firepower and experience because they pretty much shut him out in the first half, which was, I guess, Grealish now will have a little bit more headache on who he wants to start the next game because you kind of want to reward Timo and um, these guys for a pretty much a pretty good performance overall.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I saw that it was we were giving up a lot of space on the left side. Like
Right.
Espinoza, obviously we know Espinoza is one of the most talented players in San Jose, and I think he was just destroying Paddleford in the first
With
half
his speed, right?
with the speed, with just like the IQ of where to be, where to pass, um, connecting with Chicho Arango. Like they were both of them, they were like taking advantage of that side.
Mhm.
Lucky for us that when they were crossing, there was nobody to get those crosses, or in some of those spots, like Burki had a good performance. Because I mean, Burki all game had a great performance. He was back to the Burki of 2023.
Yeah, yeah. He stood on his head, and I think it's probably one of those what we kind of discussed for pretty much the entire season, where if the defense and our goalkeeper does not have to have so much work to do throughout the entire game, so then they're focused and they're able to make those. He's able to make those crazy saves because he's completely focused and ready. Versus previously, he had to pretty much have what 5 to 10 stops in the first half alone. And I think probably for this first half, he had to make a couple good saves, but nothing compared to the first half of the season. Because now you can see the ball is more in the midfield and up top, so he has less to do. So when he's called upon, he can make those ridiculous saves that he's known for City.
Yeah, yeah, and they didn't like the generation of opportunities for San Jose. They were not like close. range.
Right.
Most of them, they were either like crosses that they were not easy to challenge, like they were challenged by the defenders, so it was not easy for the forwards. And then either like rebounds or like out of the box shots. So in that end, Burki is good at those. Burki is good at shot stopping and reading crosses when they need to, and he definitely just do a great job this game. One of the concerns that I saw was every single cross from corners, not an open play, but from corners
Mhm.
against us, we were losing every single one. And I mean, Burke was livid with every single corner because they won all the headers. They had two chances that they went wide, but they were very close. And then the rest were just like half chances, really. But they were winning everything. But in the
That
other
sounds
side,
like
if
the whole season. It's been like that.
but
Unfortunately,
it was like very so yes, this remind me of the first 15 minutes against Philadelphia,
that was painful.
where every single thing they threw through the box, we were losing it to the point like they score a goal in the first 5 minutes with all those crosses. And I was like, this doesn't look good. And then out of the sudden, like we just find that first goal. From a good play, good movement of the ball, good finding spaces. Um, I am I really like the way that they come the combination between Klaus and McSorley because one
Yes.
of the things that I always thought was that McSorley was kind of like a number nine type player, but he proved me completely wrong. It was his movements were great as a nine, but also as an open, wider player. And that first goal, they flip roles because they both cross each other in the path where one went to the first post and the other one went to like kind of like the PK and the back area. Obviously, Klaus brings that ball down perfectly for him to just tap it in, and it's not an easy finish because that
No.
ball is rising when he hits that ball. So any other player can just hit that ball and just send it up over the crossbar, and he managed to keep it low and score. So I really like that movement between both of them because they didn't get in their same spot, they didn't get in their ways, they just found a way to open and stretch the defenders and find the spots.
Yeah, I think he almost remind me of maybe a younger Klaus, we could say, because to have the determination to actually take on the players and find open spaces. And I think his first goal first is that having kind of the drive to want to go to the ball, even if it's might be impossible or it's not expected for you to do it. Because that was almost a tap in, but if you would have never made that run, he would have not had the opportunity. And you cannot draw um, that play, right? Because
Hmm.
if it wasn't probably another striker, they may have just stayed back when Klaus would have had the opportunity to try to score, and then you stay back waiting for a rebound. But he pretty much had the initiative to move forward to make it easy, not easy. We'll say closer to a tap in as possible.
Yeah.
And but I think also his willingness to make a lot of those runs that's not expected is what it's kind of confusing the defense, especially for San Jose, because they were supposed to just keep focus on Klaus because he was the one doing all of the crazy scoring from weird places. And then McSorley finds himself open several times before he
Hmm.
scored.
Yeah. So this is what I think like we were always missing. It was that always the target was Klaus. And
Yep.
so all the attention was towards Klaus. He will get double down, sometimes triple down, and nobody else was running into spaces. Nobody going picking up those spaces behind the backs. But this time, McSorley was creating so much trouble that it split the focus.
Yep.
Now there was two that they needed to be concerned. McSorley won probably 3 or 4 duels in the air when you were expecting the center back to win it, and I was like, that's great because now that's creating attention for him, and then Klaus is getting open spaces, and then the other like Celio was creating open spaces, so it just opened up the field so much for City to develop more options to pass, to cross, and at the end, um, the move like for the second goal for McSorley, it just creates that movement of the ball when it went from one side to the other side, and then back out because they tried to go in the box, they couldn't go in, they send the ball back out and then get across. And if you see the movement of McSorley, he never stopped moving.
Nope.
He found a spot, he stayed for 1 second. Oh, I didn't get the ball. I'm moving to another spot. And he kept going until he circulated so much until the point where he found a pocket and he went for it and the ball was perfectly placed there
On
and he
top of
found the
his head.
pocket for it. Yep.
Yeah, I guess now he raised the question on maybe the CD2 guys, the one that I guess have featured enough that are the cause of them having such a great season. Um, Maybe now we're starting to see the reason why they're doing as well as we expect. But they also kind of show us what CD, what I guess the profile of a CD player is or expected, right? Because it looks like even though he was drafted and we knew somewhat what he was capable of from what we've seen so far, but it looks like they kind of help him progress and figure out the pressing experience that we need as a CD player, and he is able to translate that so far to the first team.
Yes. So I would say a couple of things in that there's good talent and we have been trying that talent. But I think between these players, they either have to have the full confidence and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you at least the first 45 minutes,
Right.
right? So I'm gonna start you, and you're gonna go for it. You're gonna give me all." Because we've seen McSorley coming in the 75, 80 minute and not being effective,
Right.
right? We've seen Joiner coming in those type of areas and times and not being effective. So that raises for me the question of do you want to manage those young players, giving them just short time and minutes when they're not very influential, when they don't have the experience to know where you come into a tie game, you have to match the rhythm of the game, and you want to just throw him out there and say, see what happens, or you want him to give the opportunity like you just did with McSorley, that you start the game with them, he gets on the pace of the game
Yep.
or brings the pace to the game because
I
I feel like that what McSorley did, he brought the pace to it and he said, we're gonna play at my rhythm. We're gonna play the way I'm playing, and I'm gonna make the defenders move the way I'm doing it and not the other way around. So I would like to see maybe Joyner starting
yeah,
and see
fair.
if that changes. If that changes the way that Joyner plays, then they are ready to be in this level. It just they need more time and like the push of confidence and say like, hey, you're gonna play for 45. Do what you know to do. It's just hard to come into a game when you're not experienced, you're young, and they're expecting you to make changes to that game where you have your most experienced players not even able to do that. So
Yep.
I think that's what have been playing against Joyner and all this time like he has played 10, 15 minutes every game and
That's
it
not
just
enough.
not very influential.
Yeah, and I mean I think that's maybe what the coach is trying out. I think just giving them, the contract to be in the first team that then I'll make some, practice with the guys a lot more. So I think that's probably what benefited McSorley a lot more because we know they've been practicing with the first team quite a lot even before. But I think starting may have triggered something to McSorley, right? Because like you said, playing 15 minutes, you kind of pace yourself. Um, you don't want to make mistakes, especially. But if you're on the starting role, I think for me that kind of gives you a little bit more of that confidence because he was a complete pest to the San Jose defense, um, and that's what Klaus does on a daily basis. Is he's a pest. So, and I think one thing that not many people have given Klaus credit on this game was that he took a lot of the attention from McSorley and the others. That's why McSorley was able to kind of sneak in the back in the far post. For if you watch his two goals, the defense was not really expecting him to be where he was,
Hmm.
but everybody's attention was on Klaus's side to see what he was going to do first. So I think just him being a coverage to still be who he is, which is Klaus, and it attract 3-4 players to free up some of the other players that are have the willingness to move forward. Because now he's not like the first team guys where we've kind of complained that there was a lot of lateral passes and not really anything that's progressing. But Marcelli is so far from what we've seen, he's a attacking going forward first and ask questions later.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it just when you split the attention into two dangerous players, then you're not giving your full defensive performance to the one you need to mark because you're concerned about the other one going behind you. So
Right.
you come kind of like you as a center back, you go to one and thinking, if I don't win this one, most likely someone's gonna score behind me, and that start playing on your head.
Yep.
And every team that is successful has those. They have
So
two.
far.
That's why, like even like San Jose when he has Espinoza doing the crosses, and then has Chicho and Joseph Martinez at the same time,
Scary.
makes trouble for the defenders because you have to split your attention into three people. Hani Mukhtar Sturridge is another case in Nashville.
Mhm.
Um, Last year, for example, Columbus was so successful because they have Rossi, Cucho, and Ramirez, and they had like another player on the right where they just create so much attention. You make a mess of the defenders because of it.
Yeah.
All this season, we only had one player, and it was Klaus trying to do stuff.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier to cover. All right. So yes. So how about the second half? I think that's the one that's might be a little bit more exciting. Um, so I think felt like we probably started a little too slow for the first 10 minutes or so. Um, and it looks like maybe that's when San Jose was starting to kind of feel like they had an opportunity to come back. Um, so how did you feel about the first 15 minutes and then as we progress towards the end?
I think it's annoying to like going back to the same things of you score a goal and you sit back because it even happened when we were two up. Now, by the way, like Hartel had a rocket. Like when Hartel finds his moments to shoot, like it's like he definitely can hit that ball well. But anyways, we score that second goal and we sit back. We give opportunities to San Jose to come out to us, and then we get that PK, that extremely soft PK. But at the same time, we just don't help each other with sticking our feet all the time like that.
Right.
In any spot of the game, in any place of the field, we mark like that. Durkin's known for like sticking their legs out. Celio obviously has done quite a few of those. Um, it was harsh, but still, I think it was still a PK. Suck one,
Uh,
but it was still was.
he's a striker, so pretty much he knew exactly how to get the contact and enough velocity to push himself forward. So,
Hmm.
so as the opposite fan, will always hate that. He's like the boogeyman, pretty much for when he was at Real Salt Lake, anyways.
Yeah,
Um,
I was reading comments even like just today I think, and there were still like some comments on Facebook like, ah, and Chicho again like diving and diving and diving. I was like, man, diving is part of the game. If you get to sell those files, it's part of the game,
yeah,
like it or not.
if you're a striker, that's if you can. It's your role as the defenders not to fall for it, and then after that is for the referee not to fall for it too. But um, hey, I mean, there's people that get a lot of goals that way. So stand your ground and don't give him a foot to trip on. Um,
Yeah, but then I mean, second half was very slow start. Give him too much of the ball, and we got in some ways lucky to not concede big options inside the box. And then, like we said, having Burki just
it's a cheat
phenomenal
code.
job again, like saving left and right, being very secure on his hands. I think I only saw the one that he kind of just pushed out with both of like his forearms that he
Oh,
wasn't
that
sure
close
how
range
to
one.
get that out. I think it was like a cross that he seemed to like bounce right in front of him, and he just kind of like pushed it with his body out. I thought like he kind of like fumbled that one, but at the end, even like the broadcaster was like, "Oh, he did what he needed to do, just get it out of the way."
Yeah, it's one of
Um,
those weird one where I think he was facing, straight to the goal, and then the ball comes near you, so it's kind of hard to because if you overextend, it might just go over your arm. So I think that was kind of smart to kind of use your chest to kind of push it out, because I think some goalkeepers will probably try to grab it and it just slip through your hands and find the back corner. So, but I think for me the biggest save he had was the one where he overextended and like put his mitten like all the way out and pushed it. I think it was almost going in the upper 90. He looked like.
oh yeah,
I think
like
that was
right
one of
hand.
those.
Yeah,
I think that was like the Burki signature um, save.
yeah, that's the one like it makes you think like, how did you save that?
Yeah, but that's what
Yes,
happens when your goalkeeper does not have 15 shots stopped in the first half, right? You keep your focus and your reflex follows through. So
yes,
it certainly helps, and he helped us save win a lot of games with those type of
yeah.
saves.
I mean, he has been. I mean, overall good all season. It just hasn't been like amazing like he was in 2023. He
Yep.
has conceded some goals that you would be like, maybe you should have had a little bit more of that. But like you said, if when you have so many shots on goal or like so many shots like coming around you, like it just takes a toll on you that you might let one chip one in. This one was different because he didn't have that much work until the second half, and then he was just fully focused on maintaining that lead. And I think the only one that kind of like escaped a little bit of him was the one that McSorley saved on the line,
Yep. There you go again.
and he wasn't even like at fault to let that happen. He was just like a couple rebounds going towards the net. So, but yeah, I mean, it's if we haven't mentioned enough, like McSorley complimenting his full game on having a goal line save
Yep.
mid half of the second half. That I mean, if that goes in, that's a 3-2, and that's a completely different game for the last 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That I would say
Then
one thing that
Jose
is
will come back.
disappointing of that second half is
Uh
that
oh.
we did not attack enough. I think Something that City did successfully on the first half was attacking and taking the chances and creating headaches for San Jose. But the second half, I don't think we did at all, or we didn't do enough. I don't remember like having too many chances. I think there was maybe one or two that the goalkeeper saved,
Yeah, he
but
didn't
I
work
don't think
that
there
much.
was enough.
Yeah, he did not work as much. Let's see. So yes, so I think so. Since we will try to make it a short one today, um, so I guess the overall. So we know that San Jose was still also in playing for the playoffs. So far we're playing against a playoff caliber team that has technically they probably should score a lot more with the firepower that they had. St. Louis is still owning San Jose from all of the games we played against them. Um, guess we can say that in history we are better than one team. That's even though it's in the West Coast, but
Yeah,
they have not been able successful to beat us even when in their worst time, and I would say their good times. So would you accredit that to um, how the team is playing now, the confidence, or is it one of those things where it was just magical because of McSorley having the first start and pretty much the dream start that any professional soccer player could ask as a starter?
I don't want to sound pessimist, but I also don't want to be overhyped that I have heard so many people already and I have read so
Mhm.
many people already that is like, oh, we're turning around. Like Critchley Ball is amazing, and like no whatsoever. Um, you saying San Jose was a playoff caliber team? I guess it is, but is on the low end.
They're still in play.
On
They
the
still have a
Well,
chance to
they're
make the
still in playoff
playoffs.
contention, but they're struggling.
Right.
And they also are a team that, like you say, we have beat them every single time. And those are those teams that somehow matches the way that you play and they play, and you always beat them. No matter
Right.
what you do, no matter how you do, you always beat them. So I kind of had like the expectation we were gonna beat them just because of it. And if you think the full game itself, I don't think we were that superior to them. We scored when we needed to score, but other than that, like it was not a huge superiority of City dominating the ball, City taking the tempo of the game. Like I don't think it was. San Jose took most of the possession in the second half. I'm looking at it right now. It was 68% against the 32% for the second half. Um, 12 shots against six, seven on target against two on target. So it wasn't. It's like with those games, like you did good things in the first half and you were just good enough to hold that lead. So I don't think we should be celebrating and saying, "Oh, we're turning around already. It was great." I think it was
Yeah,
just a great
not yet.
performance between. It was a great performance between McSorley, Klaus, Hartel, and Burki, in my opinion. The rest did their job, but if you don't have Burki, we'll probably concede one or two of those great opportunities they had. If you don't have McSorley playing an amazing game, you don't score two goals and you might get scored one.
Right.
So it just I think it was a great performance from some, not as a team itself. And then the other thing to calm everybody down is like the other game we won, we played the second to last team on the league,
Well, you can only beat the team that's put in front of you.
and you play the teams you get in front of you, but at the same time, let's not say we just beat the best two teams in the league and it's like and we are dominating them. No,
Not yet.
we took their mistakes and we won the games. That's one thing that we were not doing this season
Right.
because there was many games this season that they were up for us to grab them and we didn't. These two we did. So it's good. That's good. There's progress. There's some change. There's some attitude change. It's yes, that's all great. But I still want to remind everybody that we're four from the bottom up in the West, and
Well,
even though
technically, we're not out yet.
there's a there's a remote option to make to the playoff. No, it doesn't exist. I'll tell you, no, it doesn't exist that option.
Eh,
Um, we're still an overall poor season, and you won't change my mind unless you beat LA and
we
what's
might
the
have to
other
talk
two
about
we
that one.
have? Uh, that's what I'm saying. If you want to be competitive and you want to say we are changing, then definitely you have to win the next three.
Wow, that's ah. Well, I guess to close out the win that we just had, because I think that's a whole nother discussion what you just brought in. So so before we get to that part, so if you were to be able to grade the entire team's performance and then grade the coach performance, so you can give them two grades. So one ABC for the team performance overall. I knew you. I didn't.
I would say a C plus as a team.
Ooh, C plus as a team. All right, so chat. Go ahead and let us know also in the comments what grade do you give City an overall in the game. Oscar, give him a C plus. You know
Yeah.
what? I'll give him a B for the performance. And the reason why it has gone up is because Mark Shirley giving them that extra push. Um, but he could have been a B minus.
So I would say first half was a B plus.
Okay, fair.
First half was a B plus. Like it was, I think overall was very close to having a great first half. You made small mistakes, like I mentioned, like the little mistake on the PK and like the crosses that we were not successful on getting out those corners and crosses.
Right,
But other than that, like they were solid. Like there was a fluid game with the ball. There was ideas. There was things happening in the front end. But just the second half, just we didn't do anything. I think we just sit back and waited for them to come at us and see if they could break us. And for me, that's not. I mean, it's a great performance as a defenders, not conceding, but you want your team, and that's why I'm saying like as an overall team, like you want to be in the attacking mind or at least holding the ball,
right.
have possession of the ball, slow down the game, control it, because we were not under control that second half. We were just hoping that
Surviving.
Burki doesn't concede.
Yeah,
So that's why I lowered it down a lot in for the overall.
that's fair. But I think we're still in that range, so that's it's not too bad. Um, so yes, I think the grade were good. So how about the gaffer? What do you think about his performance as like the lineup and also who he brought in and brought out? His game management, because I think we've talked a lot about it with from Cornell all the way now to him, but I do see a lot of the discussions is when we were losing, there was a lot of question about the coach, the changes, who he's picking, but now we're on a streak. I mean, I think have not lost a game in three. Um, so how would you grade him so far? Because a lot of things has to be credited to him as well on how he manages those players and manages the few things that have happened recently, from sickness, a little huffle, a little battle at training. The mentality of the players you see has definitely has changed, and his promotion of those City Two guys
You're saying overall,
for the game
since
management.
he has been in charge, not
I
just
will
this
say,
game.
yeah, I would just say just this game.
Oh, this
Well,
game.
yes, we'll save the others for the end of the season.
Okay. So this game, I think I will keep him on the like same as the team. There's a C plus. He
Okay,
had a good things, but he also had some things that I'm like, eh. So good things. The way that he set up the first half, obviously,
all right.
it worked out well. Game plan was good. It, I don't know if he was expecting McSorley to perform that way, but
Uh,
it. I mean, you have to put him there. You know, as the coach, you took the chance and say, I'm gonna put him there, and he performed. So that's also on his hands to give him that opportunity. The other one that I liked was that Celio Celio didn't had a good half at all. First half was probably one of the worst half I've seen Celio play.
so I've heard, yeah.
And he actually took him on in the second half, like starting the second half. So I was very content when he made that substitution. From there, I think it's when it decreases his performance because it just he was not able to react of what San Jose was throwing at him. I think he tried. I don't know if he tried to change it or he just said, "I'm just gonna sit back and hold it." Because I mean, his subs. I get McSorley is first starter and everything, but I would have not taken him out. One, he's young. He can run forever. He's
Yeah,
young,
he should be able to run that. Yeah,
right? And two, you have him on the verge of a hat trick.
yeah.
Just keep him in there. He might create something. Who knows? You know that player in that moment, his mentality is like, what if I score a hat trick on my first start with the team? Like he's just focused. He's like gear up to do it. And then you
Oh,
take him down. You take him out. And then you take Klaus out again. I get it. You want to give minutes to Betcher because it's whatever reasons Betcher needs to have minutes.
he got signed.
Um, so those two subs, like I don't agree with. I mean, I get it just in the 78 minutes or just 10, 12 minutes, but um, and it just not being able to change the course of the second half. I think he was not able to really say, I'm in control of this and we are not struggling. It was just more like hold and pray. And once Burki saved two or three, I think like San Jose were like, okay, whatever, we're not gonna score.
they broke their he broke their spirit with just a few
Yeah,
stops,
yeah.
which I can appreciate that. All right, so they both have the same, and I think it's fair. Um, yeah, I think I'll accept those. So we're now getting to a section now that we'll answer a few questions that I see in the chat, and yeah, we'll go from there because I have a few questions for you on the what just happened of who got selected for the Ballon d'Or, um, how you feel about that, if you thought someone else was maybe more deserving of it. So that will be next. But Dan asks, what does everyone think about the rumor of the new sporting director shortlist? But I think the shortlist that we know of is just one sporting director that's been mentioned yet. And he's the one from FC Montreal. And I believe he recently was let go, I think last year or so. And I think, oh, sorry. And then there was the Brighton.
The Brentford one.
Yes. So what do you think? Sporting director that's out of the MLS. So do you think, what do you think about that? And should they also think maybe having a right hand man or woman that's actually kind of understand what MLS is?
So that one is a little confusing because I mean, you're trying to get someone that just got released not long ago from a team that is worse than you.
Yeah.
So, what are the pros on having this type of sporting director? Just having MLS experience, knowing the rules, knowing how to sign and move players with the MLS. But then, like I said, you also know that he wasn't performing correctly, or he wasn't performing to the high standard to have the team in good positions to play. So I'm not too thrilled about that one.
Hmm.
I know off camera we were talking about that it could be many factors of how much money they were giving him to create the project, to get players signed, what type of players they were looking for, if the coach was looking for something or the club's looking for something and he's not being able to provide those. Um, I don't see too much on it, especially because if the first 2 years of City were rumor as we don't provide that much money to create a team, then if you bring someone like that, it will be the same the same chaos.
True.
Um,
Because they
so
almost,
not too excited about that one.
yeah, because I think the other part then it brings it to a question: are you planning on being a selling club where you're planning on just developing players and sell them? Because that's what their, I guess, his experience is. Um, I don't know. I think it's one of those things where you say it's a short list, but we only know of two people, and it's still maybe. It's not like, oh, they are part of the short list. It's a potential short list.
Yeah.
For me,
So
it's that
the second one with Brentford, it's kind of like changes a little bit the perspective, though.
as of like
Don't
the
you
club.
think?
I think for that part, my question will be with how much of a network he comes with, right? Because they are Brighton and even a few other EPL team, right? They're the one that can go like to South America and Africa, and find those jewels that no one know of, and those guys are able to play one season in the EPL, and they buy them for £1 million, and before you know it, they're 100 million players. But then you still have to kind of sell them to come into MLS to begin with.
Yes. So I agree. So he, the one from Brentford, he definitely has that type of quality of bringing unknown talent into the squad and having them perform, or like just knowing that they are good players that they will develop.
Right.
Um, Now. it's that what City is looking for, to have players every 1 or 2 years and then sell them and create that type of like profit that it will be beneficial for the club, to be
Yeah,
real.
but
Because
unfortunately, it is not the EPL where if you sell a player for $30 million, that you keep that in the bank and you can right away flip it and buy someone else. That's my question: is if you sell them for 30, right? The MLS is not going to let you spend 30. They'll do that crazy math, you know.
right, but I mean, are we really thinking we're gonna sell something for 30? I doubt
No,
it.
no,
But
I'm saying so if you buy for 1 million and then you sell it for 7, or the whole Gio business, right? It you sold for 5, but technically it's like 2.5,
hmm
and you can not really just take all that and get another player.
yeah,
So I think I'm just interested on maybe if we can hear a little bit more of the who's on that short list. Um,
yeah, this one and this one, that's why you like it plays against that he doesn't have MLS experience. Because if he's good at flipping players like that, yes, sure, you for EPL works great to make him profit, to get a lot of money, and then like just keep recruiting low players that end up performing well. But then MLS won't make it that easy for you. And also, my other concern, it will be towards my BS always saying, I don't think he will go and find South Americans.
well, I think if he comes, I'm pretty sure he probably will go because that's how the smaller team in England are able to do so well. Is that their network in like South America and Central America is extensive.
But Brentford
No?
doesn't have any South
They
Americans.
don't have any.
I look at it and they have two Brazilians
Okay, Central.
that they're part, well, they're part of South America, but it's not the ones that we have two Brazilians already, so we're quote our quota is there.
We have one and a half. one and a half Brazilian.
Right. No, yeah. Brentford currently doesn't have anything
Oh,
but two Brazilians. Obviously a lot of players for England. He does have some Burkina Faso
okay.
and Nigeria
The usual
and
suspect.
Jamaica.
The usual suspect for the EPL.
So so it's kind of like, and that concerning a little bit because that's a team that works for APL.
Right.
That's a team like if you look at type of players, they work for APL. They're great for like they're not gonna be championships,
Hmm.
but they're staying in the category. They're staying on the tier, not relegation, and slowly getting like more successful on their play. But if you bring that perspective and that type of idea to the MLS, would you have enough success doing the same? Or because MLS, and I keep digging into this, is like MLS is successful when a team is built by Latinos.
Yeah, yeah, it pretty much have shown the successful team that it's how it has been.
Yeah,
So
so
good point.
does he has his capabilities of doing that, like bringing the same mentality, but then transform it into I have to go get Latino players.
Yeah, because that's pretty much who has been success that brought trophies to your club so far. So I guess there's a
I mean,
formula.
most of the teams that they win the cup, or they win Conca Champions, or they win the Open Cup. They have at least two or three, maybe four Latinos in there.
Maybe it
So
will be part of the mandate. I mean, I hope.
they should put it on the rules.
Yeah, like you have to do this before if you want to be the sporting director and coach. Um, I think it's pretty much have shown that in the MLS you have to have um, just lighten flavor into your team to maybe have a little bit more of how to progress the ball, dribble, and scan the field. But yeah, I'll be interested to see. Hopefully, there will be more people from the short list. Then we can see
Then we can
get
evaluate it
yeah,
better. I
and
mean,
kind of get an idea of what Diego and the leadership team is looking into. Because right now it's just showing that we're still going the European route.
exactly. So
Yeah.
if it's the Brentford, that's what it concerned me. If it's the guy from Brentford, I didn't. It's just going to the same spots, like same way that we were just working, and I don't think that's the change we want to do.
Well, if it's from Montreal, so it looks like they do have some French players. So I think I won't complain. Um, and I think they were. Well, that's also where Didier Drogba was for a little bit. So I guess I won't complain. I don't know if he was involved when uh, Thierry Henry was there. I won't complain. So I guess
Yeah,
just have to see a
see
few
over
things
there.
where the Montreal guy does. Um, but I'm definitely wants to see if those are the two, right? So now we have a MLS experience like sporting director. Now we have a European EPL like. Hopefully the others that are part of the short list are, from different part of the world and see what they can make out of because um, there's definitely no opportunity for a fresh set of eyes um, for that role. And then after that, the coach at the same time.
Yeah. Now, what do you think? Someone asked me, I think this week, Critchley, yes or no for next year?
Wow, just yes or no? I'll say yes. And you want me
I say
why?
absolutely not.
You said absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious to know if you can give me a little bit of details, and then I'll tell you why I say yes.
I said no, absolutely not, because still on the games that it matter was not able to bring results. The development of the team and improving the game, making more entertaining, sure, but it was still not winning the games.
Right?
And I feel like next year, with whatever happened with this squad, if it's a big rebuild, he's gonna have to start from zero, and it will be the same thing, trying to bring his style up to the players and saying, "Hey, I mean, we've been playing great and attractive and all that, but we're not be able to play to win the games." So I don't think he should be.
Okay. So I think for me, the reason why I say yes for at least that season for the next season is one, if the new sporting director comes in, I'm not sure if they will have enough time to find the right coach for the team. And I'm not really prepared to have another one there briefly, just because maybe if the sporting director or someone did not have enough say out who and the philosophy of what he wants to implement. The other part is also really shit like um, kind of showed us first the player management. It looks like there are a little bit more. There's a lot more smiles and a little bit more um, cohesiveness. I'm a French guy, so this will be messed up. But it looks like the team is a lot more connected than divided than previously. And I have a feeling that Hack has a lot more of collaborative work with him on how the team selection is made for each of the games. And he's kicking and screaming on the field too on the sideline. Yes, the results I understand they're probably not as desirable, but maybe it's just a few pieces missing that will help him kind of take the team to where he needs them to be. I mean,
I think
there's progress.
my biggest concern is if you go with Critchley for next year and things go south, how the team's gonna react?
The theme as of like the players themselves.
Like the no, like the franchise, the president, and like the high chairs, and like because we've seen the past two years that when things go south, they just go, okay, bye.
Well, I
Do
think
you
that
think you want to expose Critchley to have 3 more months in the job next year and things don't go well, and now you're ruining someone else perspective of um what their coach and performance is, or you really reset your entire environment and say we're bringing a new coach that we're gonna trust this project for the full year and say whatever it is we're gonna go. I don't think with Critchley they will stay for a full year of not doing well if that happens.
but they probably will
Because
do that
we're
with
not
any
gonna
other coach, right? They probably will do
because we're
that.
not gonna be miraculously better. It's not like next year we're just gonna be top three in the West.
I just need the middle.
Right. But you can be the middle and still struggle at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So is that gonna be something that is gonna give enough room for people to say like, oh well, it's Critchley, we're gonna hold him. Um, just keep in mind, I mean, not he's amazing what he has done, but if you keep in mind, I think like 5 years ago, he was not too far from what you are doing right now.
No, he was much higher than that. But yes,
I mean, I'm exaggerating, but yes.
yeah. Well,
So
hey,
think out like, oh, there's like his it's amazing the progress that he has done in his career. It's amazing. I think he's a good coach. I think he can definitely gain a lot of experience on doing what he was doing in City Two, and I think his best path, in my opinion, would be like going back to that after this season, gain more of like. It's just I don't think there's enough of this year. I don't think there's enough. I think even even though I like where the players were fighting and arguing and doing practices, I don't think um it has been enough change to say, hey, we're we're definitely a different team. Olaf was the worst thing in the world, and that's why we were bad. I think it hasn't seen that enough of a change. If Olaf was so bad and Critchley is so good,
I won't.
why there's no much of change in results, in
And
behaviors,
we've
in
scored a lot more
I mean,
goals.
we score a lot more because we were definitely playing offensive soccer.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
I won't. I think the question will be how quickly that sporting director and who can they get. But I think the whole no patience thing, they've shown new coach or old coach probably won't have as much of that patience. and City fans won't have that much of a patience. But even if you bring in a new coach, it's still a project that people will have to go behind because it will just take a. I can guarantee it will take a few games if you when you bring a new coach. We're looking at 2 or 3 games where they're not able to win, they will already start asking questions of that coach. I don't think anyone is ready for an actual true project, or else Carnell would still be here and says, we've signed this coach. We're going to give you 2, 3 years to build it the way it needs to be. I don't think no one is ready for that. And
I just don't. I don't like if you look at the calendar, like just look at the calendar this year. The only other time we won 2 games in a row was in the first 4 games that were we tied the first two, and then we beat LA Galaxy and we beat Seattle. From there, we have lapses of like losing, tie, one win, losing, such and such, and then like you go back to where Critchley has been, and it's been the same. It has been like, well, you win one and then lose three. You win one, lose three. Taiwan, then we finally beat two, but we already talked about like who did we beat uh, in those two.
but yeah, you went on the road and you beat them at home. I think is one. Yeah, I think for his role, it
No,
will
remember
depend.
we said that Montreal was the worst home record in the league
Yeah, but they also have not had lost a game in 5.
because they were playing away.
Oh,
I don't know. I just haven't seen enough change to be honest. I think he still needs a little more of managing experience and I mean if there's a let me put this if they go with Critch, I would not be upset. I would not be mad. I would be like, oh, what are you doing?
right.
The only reason why would be because he just took this 6 months of work and he created like City decided to have Critch for 6 months. Um,
Yeah, they did that with Hack.
so so right, but then if we do the same thing that we don't keep him, then it's like, oh, then you make the same mistakes like you just wasted 6 months. So like that's the only reason I would say Critchley could go because if you learn from your mistakes and you really want to make this to work, then you say, hey, we're gonna take this months of work towards next season and hope that these relationships that Critch has created, the way that he manages players and everything have worked for the big guys on the team, the Burki, the Klaus, the Hartel, the Lewins, to have a good relationship starting up on the next year and say we're gonna build this great from that end. That would
So
be
how
my
about it?
only reason.
So how about if he's able to help keep Burki in City?
I don't think he's the one who's gonna decide if he keeps him or not, but
But he get kind of like the nudge, the special coach um nudge and kind of daily reminder of how things are on the player side of things. So I think there's chances, and there's those pros and cons of keeping them and not keeping them. But it looks like they might seem all the same thing that we kind of think. Like, do you really want to disturb what is currently happening now? Will the coach that comes in is able to know hit the ground running, or will he or she say that, oh, maybe I don't have the player that I need for my formations? or um, or he prefer a certain player that's currently on the bench that's flipped to starters. There's like so many of those moving parts for this season. That's weird to see your team have because right, sporting
Yeah.
director, coach, and then a plethora of players that are out of contract. They
And
almost need it. They
that's
need
the
to
other
hurry up.
thing because if you, let's say you keep Critch because it's something it's working well right now. But at the end of the season, you're gonna have half of the squad's gonna be new. Then you're still starting a new project.
Yeah,
So if you start a new project, did you want to keep Critch or you want to bring another coach with more experience and have the new project? Because we're in a situation where we know most likely the team is gonna be revamping a lot of the squad.
yeah. Well, yeah. Based on the
So
discussion we've seen,
your relationships don't mean squad anymore.
sure. Yeah, that's the interesting one.
It's complicated. I mean, it just is either like if you were gonna make that decision, just make it official 6 months, like 3 months ago when he took charge,
Yeah,
and say like this is gonna be our guy for the next year and a half,
it
right?
definitely has more complicated now. Like they probably need to have that sporting director picked yesterday so that all of this discussion can be happening now. Because yeah,
I
someone's
mean, you're
busy.
still gonna get rid of a lot of players because
You will
I mean,
assume
in
so,
my
yeah.
opinion, if you don't get rid of a lot of players, people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah, yeah,
Like fan
yeah,
base is gonna be pissed, like very pissed.
yeah. Yeah, they're pissed already, but yeah, they're a
Well,
lot
they're pissed
worse.
because the ones that we have, they're not working great, and you're gonna tell us next year that you're gonna keep what you have, then yes, people are gonna not be
Yeah. No, I think
very
the
happy about it.
the CD 1.0, I think those guys probably will be moved on to where you can get the, I guess we're on 2.0 now. Um, but hopefully they make sure that the depth of the bench does not see a huge drop from the starting 11 to whoever comes in. Um, and I think that pretty much does it for like the roster part. So the last thing that we have to talk about is LAFC is coming to town. They're literally scoring goals just for fun. The last one was 4-1 against RSL, which for RSL is well deserved for what the news that they've been on lately. So it's kind of funny to have a team that has a lot of immigrants and have an
Was that the
experience.
one about the hat?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
So now I do not like him whatsoever for just that response. So it's kind of fitted, to get destroyed
that
by
they
a
get their
team
ass
that
whooped.
has a lot of
Bunch of immigrants,
yes. And then, you have an African player and an Asian player that go and whoop you 4-1, which I kind of enjoyed that part.
and another 4-1
Y-
with 8 goals in 2 games.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying that. But also then that means they're coming to town. We have not beat LAFC. First Buonga was the pain in our rear, and now we have Son on top of that, and he's also scoring goals at will. So one,
Yeah,
Oscar, for you, hopefully Fowl and Kessler are back. But how are you feeling about that? Because it's gonna be
I
brutal.
feel that the the pre-match game and the festivities are gonna be so fun
Uh,
Um,
I'm sure.
they're gonna be great. Hispanic Heritage Celebration, so we're
I
all gonna
cannot wait.
be pumped. And then we're just gonna enjoy time with friends because I think those two are on fire and they're not gonna stop.
Yeah, you don't think they are on fire? It's ridiculous.
Um, and I mean, just like the clash still itself is not very good for us. Like you say, we haven't beat them. We only had two draws this year. For the first time, we scored two goals against them. The rest, so they have three, five, 8 goals score against two of us.
Mm.
So they outscore us 8-2. They, I mean, just the way that they're playing is just ridiculous.
Yeah, sure, having fun. That's for sure.
So yeah, I mean, I have no. I think if we tie them, will be great.
Yeah, this it's not a loss.
I think. I mean, I don't think we. Even if we score early, I think they just show with the last game that they can just easily outscore you after your first goal. And we're good at giving away leads too, and to get in score late. Even though the last three games we have not conceded a goal in the last 15 minutes, so it's good.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be very tough unless for X or Y reason they don't wanna try to get the points. That I don't see why they would not come and get the points because they are 7 points away from the first in the West with 2 games down. So
So you don't see them rest anyone.
no, no, I don't think so. I think they see St. Louis as a 3 point easy to go, as everybody has done it this season in St. Louis.
And then we slap him in the face.
I mean, that would be great, but it just if you think about it, like they are, if they get the 2 games in hand, they win both of them, they make 56 points. They will be one behind San Diego,
Yeah, they're going. Yeah, they're going for it. Well,
and
then
they have us, they have Atlanta United, they have Toronto, Austin, and Colorado.
well. So let's go and be party poopers then. Just don't let him cry at the party here.
It's gonna be tough, very tough.
I'm hoping for the best, but yeah, we know. But but I think with that say, I think we're very optimistic. Oscar, yes, I'm waiting to see that TIFO. It's one of those exciting times of the year that I like to see. So it's gonna be a fun game, and I know you guys have a lot in store for us. But I want to ask you to devolve 80 secrets. So make sure you come to City Park or Energizer Park. It's gonna be a
Come to
great game.
Fiesta Football, come hang out with us.
Yeah, make some noise and at least pack it up because
Yes.
it's one of those things, right? We
Yeah,
we get
just
a
come and
taste
have
of winning.
fun. I mean, we don't have. I mean, to be honest, we don't have anything to lose. It's just come have
Pride.
fun, be loud, power up, get rowdy, get as much as possible in it, and see what happens. I mean, at this point, I don't get disappointed with a loss. I mean, I get surprised with a win.
Oh, the life of a soccer fan,
Yeah,
of a city soccer fan.
but no. To be honest, Tifo's sick. Tifo's
Oh,
gonna be very very cool. There's other things that they're gonna be handing out in Fiesta Football. If you're part of our
Oh,
group, or if you want to be part of our group, or you want to be part of our party, come out, come around. There's gonna be some. There's limited stuff. So, but
mm,
there's gonna be fun stuff. A lot of things happening this Saturday. So come by to Marquee to Fiesta Football and be ready to party with us.
all right. So I have to make sure I rush to get the limited things come from the
Yeah,
party.
come by, come by. I'll be down there since 3 o'clock. So
Yeah, we know. We appreciate all the work you do from not only the chants, the tifo, capo, and then you come and talk soccer again for on Monday. So dedication. So I think it's going. I'm optimistic.
maybe we inspire them.
That that's all it is. And looks like Amy says
Hey,
she will see you there.
whoop whoop.
So I'll
Welcome,
bring the.
Amy.
But with that,
Amy.
say before Oscar starts singing more. But with that said, appreciate you all for joining another episode of Top Corner Talk. Hopefully, we'll have our other two counterparts very soon. So, um,
Shimo, before we go, you had another question that is off city topic, but I do want to
oh
talk about it a little bit
yes,
quick.
oh nice
So,
catch. Well, I was going to go
I mean,
celebrate. So let's
yeah, you're happy, you're there.
yes.
I mean, we definitely have to touch it as obviously the biggest individual award that is given in football or in soccer,
Yes.
the Ballon d'Or. So it catch attention from everybody.
Hey,
Oh, Jeremy, I thought you were
Je-
sick.
yeah, I thought you were sick. Yeah, stop typing. Go to bed, Jeremy. Go to bed. 2-1. Yeah, because of a 2-1 because you were playing a man down and only won by 2-1. I think right? They've
I
been
mean,
a man up for what? More than 85 minutes or like 80 minutes and you only managed a 2-1 win? I don't know, there's not much to celebrate there.
let them celebrate. They win a game in what,
Ooh.
every 6 months.
Sounds about right.
So it's okay, Jeremy. You can celebrate. That's why you're sick. It's the unusual thing. It's when the
uh
climate changes,
yeah.
you get sick,
He's not used
hot
to
and
winning.
cold. When you're losing, you win. Oh, you got sick. Sorry.
Yeah. Get used to losing. Oh boy.
Uh,
But
but anyways,
yes.
so Ballon d'Or, I I agree and disagree. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it because it had to stay with a PSG player. There was no way someone else, another team, was gonna win that prize this year. I mean, PSG won every single thing that they played except the Club World Cup that they made it to the final, and that was just like a game out of another story. It just I never thought obviously Chelsea was gonna do that in the final, but I think there was only one player that was more important for those titles than Dembele, and it was Vitinha. I think Vitinha was
Mhm.
the engine of PSG. He was the one who gave balance, who gave the support in the front, support in the back, created. But those players don't get the recognition that forwards get. They don't get that much attention because they don't score that many goals. They don't give that many assists. They just do the dirty work. So I think Vitinha was more influential in the big picture, and Usman Dembele obviously was the one that got the goals and the assists and the flair, the the good playing style, the one that is attractive for most of the people, and that's why he had a little advantage in there.
Mhm.
I was gonna be very mad if Lamine Yamal was gonna win it, not because he's not a great player. I think in all perspective, he is the best player right now. They want to show him more flair, more um, skills, more influential situations in the games, especially with a Barcelona that I mean, he's definitely carrying the
Yep.
team more than what I would say like Dembele will not was not carrying the team. Like just like Dembele was playing in a very solid team, but it's still I don't think he's still there. And it's a first story for Dembele after having such a rough years with Barcelona and all that nonsense that happened over there. I think it's very fair for him that he had so much potential and then Barcelona was basically destroying him and he
Yeah,
finally found
yeah,
his space.
yeah. I think it was like almost the other way around. The stories and what happened. A lot of it is he went too young from Dortmund to Barca, and he became like the superstar there. And I think he was not mature enough because he missed practice. He was a lot of practice he missed because he was playing PlayStation too late, and he was partying with friends and all that. I think a lot of people that watched him, the progression was that at Dortmund he was like at the top. That's why he went to Barca. But then from there, did not have the structure.
He believed himself too much.
Yes, and he had the structure, and he had like a whole bunch of friends that moved to Spain, and kind of lived that Spanish superstar lifestyle. And I think that's where the degradation happened. But I think for in PSG was he was built one as one of the main facet of the team, and I think having Messi and all of these guys kind of hit him a little bit, the skills he had until they left. But then the coach and the structure of the team, I think the way they have it built is that the pressing that we keep talking with City, he was like the first stage of the pressure, which kind of destabilized everything else, where the, everybody else that was around him was able to play to a higher level, I would say. So I think him winning the Ballon d'Or was like almost the difference where it's not just all marketing, is that the people that have kind of see the progression, and then PSG is literally the best team in the world, but I think most people have him as the best player in the team, which then equates them as the best player in the world. Because his pressure, you saw a lot of it when he was not playing. They were not dominating the all of the teams all the way to the Champions League like when he was in the team.
Yeah.
So I think that's where less people are upset with him winning it compared to like if Rodri last year or Modric after that, before that. There was a lot of those discussions of who was more worthy of winning it. I think this one was a lot closer, where it was just Lamine and Usman, which I can
Yeah,
appreciate because
I think this one was close because of the f- the skill level that both of them like have shown like with the ball, the way that they take on one on ones and I think in those aspects, Lamil Jamal is a little bit more successful.
right,
But I mean, you can't just deny that Dembele was playing in a team that won 5 championships
yeah,
in a year.
quadruple.
So it's not denying there. So even though like Jamie Jamal they won 3 different things last year, still not. I don't think it was. And we all know that when you win the Champions League in a year where there's no World Cup, that's the one that most likely is gonna give you the Ballon d'Or.
I think, and I think now that that trophy is for the taking now for anyone. All you had to do now is have the best ca- calendar year of your life, and you can pretty much win it now because you don't have the
Hope
other
you have a
two.
good team.
Yeah, I mean, those are the other two that used to steal it from everybody are no longer available.
They're no
So
longer, yeah.
yeah, and I think now he just put himself in a category where he's almost untouchable because he won everything you can think of on all the way to the World Cup. I think the only thing that most people put you in the legend status is have you won the World Cup? And if you have the Ballon d'Or, you pretty much written your name in history for.
Yeah.
He can go home on. He can retire now at 28, and he's in the level that not many players, and even some of the players we regard as the best ever, some of them can't even touch him.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, if he goes and has a great World Cup
oh, he
with
probably will take
France,
another one.
I mean, France is trying everything to get back in it. So
Hey, if we even make to the if France even makes it to the final, it probably be one of the thing like dynasty like because that means you make it to three World Cups finals in the last
yeah,
four.
I don't
I'm
want that to
spoiled.
happen, but I don't want that to happen.
Why not?
No,
I,
nope.
Messi ruined everything because it was going to be the first of a lot of things if France would have won it last time. We would have had a father and son winning a World Cup. Um, Mbappe being the youngest, yeah, he ruined a
Yeah,
lot of
I
things.
I supported France in the France '98, and I
Yeah,
did my duty. I did my duty there.
that
The
was the
rest,
best one.
the rest no, because and that one obviously was the first that France won
Mm, yep,
in history, and I mean they had a team that it was so fun
legendary.
to watch and legendary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so last I'll ask you, and I have my
uh,
the
uh
one player that in this list of Ballon d'Or that I was like, no, 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 it should not be there. And I think you probably can guess which one.
I don't know.
You like him a lot.
Mbappe.
No, I'm shocked that Mbappe wasn't that higher.
Yeah, he was low. I don't.
He's Mbappe was the one who scored most goals this year,
Yeah,
and he was seven.
Harry Kane, Cole. What?
I think he was fifth, if I'm not wrong.
And you mean you think that he did not deserve to be up there?
No,
What?
no,
Why not? Yeah, he's
no. He got up there because
he's
the club
British.
World Cup.
Not, but also he literally
He's
carried Chelsea.
he's good, but no, no, no
He
way.
carried Chelsea.
To what?
Like the better what finished top four. He had he literally had a run that without him Chelsea would have had a very bad season.
Yeah, that's fine, but there's also teams that they won trophies, leagues and stuff, and the players were not near around.
But you saw the list. The list was a very there was a lot of eyebrows that were raised.
That one for me is the one that shocked me the most. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he is in there yet.
I don't know. Well, maybe I'm biased. but there's a lot
You
of
are.
them. I mean, I can. Let me look the list because I can tell you there was a
Okay,
whole
so he
bunch.
was 8. So Cole Palmer was 8.
Yeah, so top 10. I
I didn't. I would say I would have. Pedri is much player than him.
Yeah, but Pedri has really not been as relevant.
No, no. Pedri was. It's the same thing as Vitinha. Pedri was the one carrying Barcelona on the back on the center field.
Yeah,
And
but
I'll put easy. I'll put um Kvaratskhelia from PSG.
all right.
I'll put Pedri on top. I'll put Nuno Mendes on top. I'll put Gigi Donnarumma on top of him. Um,
Nah, Gigi got lucky. Let's put it because
I would
he was not even the starter for league. Oh,
I would put Lautaro Martinez on top of him. Um,
but I would put also Sehu.
I put Virgil van Dijk before him.
Well, I think
Come on.
there's a quite a few players that we could say. I think Olise probably could have been close enough. I was just crazy that I saw Olise was number 30th. I'm like, no, he's definitely better than Declan Rice. Holland was also very low at 26. Steve McAllister was low. Sehu Garasi from Guinea, he was low too.
I'll
Um,
tell you the worst outrage of all this is that Luis Diaz from Colombia was not even in the 50s.
yeah, I'm kind
Like
of lost on that one.
with with all those players, like you just mentioned, Declan Rice, you go Florian Wirtz, you go even Olise. Luis Diaz was the second best player in Liverpool season.
Yeah, I probably should have
What?
gone somewhere.
And you don't put him in there, and you have McAllister. So like, what was the reasons there? Like,
Uh, that will probably ask a lot of some of the reporters. Even I think even Scott Tomine from that's in Scotland but plays Napoli. He's playing out of his mind at this moment. Um, yeah,
I mean, Lucho Diaz had an amazing season. He was very like commanding Liverpool with Salah. Like, obviously Salah in another level because he was scoring every single game, but no, like
yeah.
you
I think
cannot put
probably
it on that
all.
list.
I guess for me, probably the top 10 is the lock, but I know you got Palmer. Um, but I think after 10, that's where there's a lot of questions. I even know Lewandowski. I don't even know if he's worth 17 at Barca.
I mean, I don't think like Desiree Doué or like the Victor Yokides
Yeah, this way is because he had like he played out of
because
his
he scored
mind.
so many goals in Portugal. Come on, like give me a break.
Oh yeah, that Victor, yes. But this Ray, he's been balling out of his mind. I mean, last year before he went even to PSG, he was setting the league on fire. So I think there's some maybe bias in some of those.
So like, did you notice that if it's not Argentinian or Brazilian, there's there's no nothing else. Like then there's all Europeans and like the one or two like
And
Africans that they
there's
built,
you mean
but
one in the
then
top 30? There's
yeah,
one. Yeah, there's one. What? One from Georgia, which is
but they're all
Europe.
Europeans.
And then so there's two. What? I forgot Salah. So yeah, so there's like two African players. Everybody else. Oh, there's three. Hakimi from Morocco.
Yeah, I always forget Hakimi is actually African.
and he's actually. So I think for me, the top five, it's almost a lockdown that almost no debatable on it, and I think the rest it's has can be discussed. Um, Donnarumma, I'm still surprised he's in number nine. Um, is the Champions League that actually made him win all of these because he was not even the starter for the League and everything else. He was actually the Champions League goalkeeper. So I think there's a lot of after five or yeah, I'll say after five there was you could make a case for players to go up and down.
Yeah, yeah. Like I would Amy says that he wasn't a starter much, but I mean, whatever he played, he had 50 games and scored 17 goals and 5 assists.
17.
I mean,
That's
for
not too shabby.
Liverpool, like for a Liverpool team, so disappointing. And I mean, if you count like what he did with the national team this past years too, because he was like one of our top scorers with Colombia for the. He almost he was the second highest in the full qualifications.
So this it sounds like
Messi
maybe
Messi had one more goal than Lucho.
sounds like a lot of this also has to do with marketing. Like maybe the top three we all know they don't really need as much marketing to justify their positions, but I think maybe the other one is the weight of the league, the weight of the unfortunately nationality, what kind of puts you in certain on the position of the Ballon d'Or.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Colombians. To be honest, Colombians have been, I think, two that made the top 10 in the teams
Yeah, that's not a lot.
in a year, and it was. I don't even remember if James made it. I know for sure that Falcao was the best number nine in
That's best. It was beast.
whatever year it was, but that was like the only time like when he was in the top 11, the best 11, where it was all Barca and Madrid, and then him.
That's a company that you love to have. Yeah, I'm looking at this list. It's like Dembele, Rodri, Messi, Benzema, then Messi, Modric, Ronaldo, Messi, blah 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 blah. And then Kaká was 2007. Yeah, sure. I don't even remember Michael Owen had won the Ballon d'Or.
I can't believe he did. Yeah, like a just random
Yeah,
season, but
yeah, he got 2001. Yeah, there's interesting. I'm looking at the list. Hey, Luis Suarez won it in 1960. Another Luis Suarez. See, watch. You were right. It was just look at that. Another big Liverpool fan. Yeah, so that list quite interesting on who. And I think they mentioned Dembele was the second black player to win it. Well, I guess if um, Lamine would have wanted that, would have still be the same
it was
stat.
still
So,
yeah.
but I think it's finally good to see other players getting recognized, and at least now we know that it's not going to be the same two in a row. So it's good to see that at least starting in 2002 with Benzema, at least then Messi got it in 23, and then Rodri got it in 24, and then Dembele has it in 26. So hopefully we get multiple winners of the Ballon d'Or every year to kind of keep it fresh.
Yeah, I was hoping like for the women's side that the other one was gonna win it and not
Uh,
Aitana. I mean,
Three in a
I love
row.
Aitana and the way that she plays, but I think like it would have been fun like if the other one that is also Spanish
Right.
that would have won,
So instead of having
but
three in a row and back to,
three in a
yeah,
row. Yep.
yeah. And I'm
But
just
I mean,
watching
it's
it.
also great. Like, I mean, she's just destroying everybody, I guess.
She is, from
But
what I've seen, yes.
also, like, this is funny because this is kind of like a double standard that the the other girl, I can't remember her name right now, but they actually won the Champions League against Barcelona.
Oh, so she
So
actually beat.
her team won the Champions League, and it wasn't enough to give her the title compared to Aitana that lost the final and got the award. So
Huh. So I wonder if
kind of
what
kind of
other
weird
thing.
there.
Yeah,
Mark,
because that's the joke where you have to win the Champions League or the World Cup to win it. So yeah, I guess that would be a different discussion. But at least now it's a new season, so that means every player is back to zero, and we'll see who wins it next year. All right.
Mo, you're
Yeah.
gonna win it. I got
Yeah. What the old
all
men,
my money on you.
all the old men, Ballon d'Or. I'm going to carve one just myself, and then I'll bring it.
Right?
See, another Frenchman has won it. But
No.
with that said, appreciate you all for joining us again, and make sure you show up to the party also for STL Santos. See if you see us around, don't be shy. But with that said, we'll see y'all soon.